Hello, welcome to another DFG video. This is going to be another build video, another quick one. So I'm just going to show you how I built this. So you might have seen recently that I built this one, and this featured in my last detecting video. And yeah, I bought enough materials to make two of them, so decided to make another one and film it this time. You can see this one's a little bit different, but you'll see more about that later. So let's not dwell on it too long and let's get straight into it. So first things first, we'll just take a quick look at materials and costs. So I bought a 125mm length of 48 OD 3mm walled pipe, which was pretty cheap, and two lengths of 100mm by 5mm flat bar. So total cost there was $13.50, we'll say. I also got a 43mm by 1.2 meter length of dowel for $24 pine. So total cost was $37.50 or $18.75 each, roughly. So yeah, quite a saving to be had here. So this is the 350mm length of flat bar. So we'll just get to drawing some cut lines on there. Now you can see I haven't used the whole length of the flat bar. I decided to go with a 300mm length, as that just seemed right. And you can see on the back side of this one, I was originally going to go with the full triangular shape as I drew it out here, but once I drew it out and looking at it, it just looked a bit thin sort of up this end, so yeah, I decided to go with the shape I went with in the end. Much of a muchness really, I think. And here we have the basic shape cut out. So next thing I've got to do is just hit it on the grinder to clean up sort of the edges, get rid of all those sharp bits, and sort of put that sharp bit onto the back edge there. I don't know what you'd call it. And this is the results of the bench grinding. You can see that back edge I've done there. Haven't gone too crazy with that because it's really unnecessary to make it too sharp. It'll just blunt out anyway. So yeah, and I've just cleaned up the edges and stuff a bit. So it's looking pretty nice now. Nothing sharp or anything. Good to go. Moving on to the neck here. Cut this one in half from the 125mm length. So yeah, just going to weld this side down. That was the original flat edge. This is the edge I cut, so I'm just going to sort of clean that up, chamfer it a little bit to make it nice, and then put a large chamfer on this bottom edge here so I can weld it. Came up pretty nice off the bench grinder, but just going to hit it with the hand file just to clean up some of the sort of rougher bits and hit that inside edge. So yeah, just going to hit the inside edge now just to make it nice, so when I hammer the handle in there's no sharp bits there. It'd be nice if I had a round file as well, but I don't, so the square one got the job done in the end. Alright, so that's a slight chamfer on the top edge just to make it look a little bit nice and not have a sharp edge there. And you can see the larger chamfer on the bottom edge for the welding. Probably could have gone a little bit of a bigger one there, but didn't. Oh well. So next up we'll have to hit it onto the wire wheel on the bench grinder to get rid of this sort of oxidation layer on it. So we'll hit the middle of that one and the top of the neck. And this is the results of the wire wheeling, so you can see the shiny bit there, so that's cleaned off all the oxidation and gunk that's sort of built up on there, and you can see this shiny patch in the middle there, so yeah, that's good to go for welding now. Alright, so just a slight change of design in the meantime. I went and got the welder and then just quickly whipped this up. You can see this length of 5mm round bar here. Decided to cut that off, 120mm, and I'm just going to weld that along the middle here, pointing up towards the end. Hopefully that'll add a little bit of extra strength to it, because I was worried about this being a bit too sort of thin up the end here, and if I hit a big rock it might bend or something. So yeah, I've just gone with that design. Turns out that that was a very big mistake, as we'll see in a few minutes. But bear with me on that, you'll have to wait and see. Alright, so that's the results of the welding. Let's not dwell on that too long because it's freaking shocking. So just got to get rid of all this gunk now. So just hit it with the wire brush for a couple of minutes so we can have a good look at the weld that I've just done. And there we have it, nice and clean now, so you can have a good look at that absolutely terrible weld. And there might be another glaring error that you can see, but we'll get to that in just a moment. But yeah, it's looking alright, all things considered. Yeah, but now you can see from this over the top view, that end bit here, that middle bar, is nowhere near the middle where it should be. The problem was I tacked this end but failed to tack this end, and as I was welding up it, the heat just made it curve and I didn't notice it in the moment. So yeah, it's aesthetically very unpleasing, but it should be still functional. So yeah, alright, let's hit it with the flap disc on the angle grinder now and clean off all this splatter and stuff like that. So yeah, nice and smooth now. You can see all those shiny dots and stuff. That's where all the splatter was sort of cleaned off. So yeah, hit the welds as much as I could as well to clean it up a bit. Shocking. One positive from the welding, it did make the blade curve up a bit. You can see it's got a fair little curve there. It's standing off at least a centimetre at the end there. So yeah, at least there was one positive from the welding. Can't complain about that at least. Alright, so just painting it up now. I'm just using basic spray paint, the cheap fiddly bit stuff you get from Bunnings. Nothing too fancy. I mean, you could probably just leave it there, but I'm hoping the paint will at least stop the bits that I'm not digging with from rusting and stuff if it sits around for a while. But, you know, at very least it just makes it look good. Alright, let's move on to the handle. So yeah, this is a 700mm length here. Just going to cut that down to 500mm because I made the other one 500mm and that worked out well, so we're just going to replicate that one here. Alright, now we've got that cut to length, we're going to start carving out the handle a bit. Now, in an ideal world, you'd be using a draw knife for this, but I do not have one, so I'm just using a sharp blade. So the tedious task ahead of me is to take chips out like this, all the way down to down the side. Yeah, it's not quite as tedious as this when I do it. I'm just holding it up awkwardly for the camera now. I can usually take sort of larger chunks, but yeah, just going to do this all the way down the side here, and then flip her over and do it all the way down here. I'll probably leave about a 3 centimeter gap up the top and a 12 centimeter-ish gap down the bottom. Yeah, so that's just to make it nice for gripping. Alright, I've mostly done it now. The last few bits just to clean her up, and that's the finished result. So you can see it does look kind of rough and stuff still up close here. Very rough, but you know, that's what sandpaper's for, isn't it? So yeah, just hitting it with the sandpaper now. Hopefully that'll clean her up, make her nice and smooth. There we go, lovely. You can see the nice flat edge on that now. So yeah, looking good. And here we have, I just rounded off those sharp edges because you don't want that when you're gripping it, and just sort of rounded off the end of it a bit there, just for make it nice for comfort in the hand. And you can sort of see a little bit of the thinning I've done there, but I didn't go too drastic with this one. Alright, so time to get the handle fitted in now. It was crucial to make sure I got it straight, but once I've sort of got it in there, I can just hammer it in. I measured the depth of the neck and made a mark a little bit up the wooden handle there, just so I knew when I had hammered it in all the way. And yeah, it looks like it's in. You beaut. Second to last step is to drill out the handle, drill out the hole for the pin. So I'm doing a 5mm hole here through one side of the metal, all the way through the wood, and then out the other side, so I can just hammer the pin all the way through. Here's the finished result. Turns out I should have put something soft underneath it because I've scratched up the paint a bit there, but I'm not too worried about those aesthetics considering that shocking weld job earlier. Alright, let's cut the pin. Rightio, so here's the 48mm pin ready to go in. Hopefully it'll be flush, perfectly flush on both sides. Bang, looking good. Alright, so the very last step you'd do would be to put the magnet on the handle up here, but I don't have a spare one, so can't do that. So we'll just push on. Imagine me putting a magnet on the top there. And yeah, well, I guess the last step would be to seal the handle as well, but I don't have anything to seal the handle with, so I'm just going to leave it bare for now, but sealing the handle would be a good idea as it will increase the longevity of it and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much finished. Not too bad. Really disappointed with that shock and weld job on that straight bit I ended up putting on there. That's really taken away from it, but again, it's just aesthetics. It looks bad, but it should still function as I wanted it to. So that's, you know, something at least. And yeah, $18.75 for this pick. Just under $40 for two of them. Cannot complain about that. Now I've got a spare and, you know, saved myself a lot of money. Alright, well, thanks heaps for watching, folks. If you've got any comments or critiques, be sure to comment down below. I'm sure there's quite a lot of critiques. I mean, look at that. But yeah, thanks heaps for watching. Hopefully that'll inspire you to make one of your own, save a bit of money for yourself. And it's just a bit of fun, if nothing else. So yeah, thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.